Welcome to Rise Professional Development. In this professional development module, you will learn about dyslexia and its effects on students. We have a lot of learning ahead of us, so let's get started. Some of the goals for this professional development session include increased awareness, raise awareness among teachers about dyslexia, its prevalence, and its impact on students' learning. Understanding dyslexia, provide a comprehensive understanding of dyslexia, including its definition, characteristics, and neurological basis. Early identification, educate teachers about the early signs and the importance of early identification and intervention for dyslexic students. Support strategies, equip teachers with effective strategies and tools to support dyslexic students in the classroom. Legal and policy knowledge, inform teachers about relevant laws and policies related to dyslexia and the rights and responsibilities of teachers. Collaboration skills, foster collaboration and communication skills, enabling teachers to work effectively with parents, support services, and special education teams. By the end of the session, participants should be able to define dyslexia and recognize its common characteristics in students. Explain the neurological basis of dyslexia and how it impacts reading and learning. Identify early signs of dyslexia and understand the importance of early intervention. Implement differentiated instruction and accommodation to support dyslexic students in the classroom. Utilize multisensory teaching approaches for reading, and language instruction. Explore assistive technology and available resources for dyslexic students. Describe relevant federal and state laws related to dyslexia. The rights of students with dyslexia. Develop effective communication and collaboration skills for working with parents, caregivers, and support services. Create an action plan for implementing dyslexia support in their classrooms and schools. Understanding dyslexia is crucial in education for several reasons. Early intervention. Dyslexia is a neurobiological condition that affects an individual's ability to read and process language. Recognizing the signs and symptoms of dyslexia early in a student's academic journey is essential for providing timely intervention and support. Early intervention increases the chances of improving reading and language skills, which are fundamental to all aspects of education. Equity and inclusion. Failing to understand dyslexia can lead to unequal educational opportunities. Students with dyslexia may struggle academically if their needs are not addressed, and they may experience low self-esteem and frustration. Understanding dyslexia helps promote educational equity and inclusion, ensuring that all students have a fair chance to succeed. Effective teaching. Teachers who understand dyslexia can adapt their teaching methods to meet the diverse needs of their students. They can employ evidence-based strategies, such as multisensory teaching approaches and assistive technologies, to support dyslexic students in their learning. This leads to more effective teaching and improved learning outcomes for all students. Reduction of stigma. When educators are informed about dyslexia, they can reduce the stigma associated with learning differences. By creating a supportive and accepting classroom environment, students with dyslexia are more likely to ask for help and engage in learning without fear of judgment. Legal compliance. Many regions have laws and policies that require schools to identify and provide support for students with dyslexia. Educators need to be aware of these legal obligations to ensure compliance and avoid potential legal issues. Emotional well-being. Dyslexic students often face emotional and psychological challenges due to their difficulties with reading and writing. Understanding dyslexia allows educators to provide emotional support and build students' self-esteem, helping them cope with the emotional aspects of their condition. Positive outcomes. With the right support and understanding, dyslexic individuals can achieve their full potential in education and life. Many successful individuals in various fields, including arts, sciences, and business, are dyslexic. By understanding dyslexia, educators can help unlock the unique talents and strengths of these students. Understanding dyslexia is vital in education because it promotes early intervention, fosters equity and inclusion, improves teaching methods, reduces stigma, ensures legal compliance, supports emotional well-being, and ultimately leads to positive educational outcomes for all students, including those with dyslexia.
What is dyslexia and how can it be defined? Dyslexia is a complex neurobiological condition that primarily affects reading, spelling, and writing abilities. It is characterized by persistent difficulties in accurate and/or fluent word recognition and by poor spelling and decoding abilities. Individuals with dyslexia often experience challenges in phonological processing, which is the ability to manipulate the sounds in spoken language, and they may struggle with various aspects of language, including comprehension and vocabulary. What are some key characteristics of dyslexia? Word recognition. Dyslexic individuals have difficulty accurately and quickly recognizing and decoding words. This can lead to slow and laborious reading, as they may need to sound out words one letter at a time. Dyslexic individuals often struggle with accurate and efficient word recognition. They may have difficulty instantly recognizing familiar words and need to sound them out slowly or guess based on context. Sight word recognition, which is the ability to read common words automatically, can be particularly challenging for individuals with dyslexia. Dyslexic readers may experience word distortions, where they perceive words as jumbled or reversed letters. Spelling and writing. Dyslexia often results in poor spelling and difficulty with written expression. This is because dyslexic individuals may have difficulty connecting sounds to their corresponding written symbols, phoneme-grapheme correspondence. Dyslexia frequently leads to spelling difficulties. Dyslexic individuals may misspell words, make phonetic errors, or have difficulty applying spelling rules. Writing can be a slow and laborious process, as individuals may struggle to translate their thoughts into written text accurately. Phonological processing. One of the hallmark features of dyslexia is a weakness in phonological processing. This includes challenges in tasks such as rhyming, segmenting words into their individual sounds, and blending sounds to form words. These difficulties can make it hard for individuals to understand the relationships between sounds and letters. Phonological processing refers to the ability to work with the sounds of spoken language. Dyslexic individuals often have weaknesses in this area, which can affect reading, writing, and language skills. They may struggle with tasks such as rhyming, identifying words that sound similar, segmenting words into individual sounds, blending sounds to form words, and manipulating sounds within words. Fluency. Dyslexia can lead to a lack of reading fluency. Dyslexic readers may read slowly and with effort, which can impact their comprehension and overall reading experience. Dyslexic readers often lack fluency, reading slowly and with effort. They may read in a choppy manner and make frequent stops to decode words, which can disrupt comprehension. Difficulty with fluency can impact the enjoyment of reading and discourage dyslexic individuals from engaging with text. Language skills. Dyslexia can also affect broader language skills, including vocabulary and understanding complex sentence structures. It may lead to challenges in understanding written instructions, following multi-step directions, or comprehending academic texts. Dyslexia can extend beyond reading and writing to affect broader language skills. Individuals with dyslexia may have challenges with vocabulary development, understanding complex sentence structures, and following spoken or written instructions. Comprehension difficulties can limit their ability to grasp the meaning of written materials, from academic texts to everyday communication. Persistency. Dyslexia is considered a lifelong condition, and its effects persist into adulthood. However, with appropriate interventions and support, individuals with dyslexia can learn strategies to compensate for their difficulties and improve their reading and writing skills. Dyslexia is considered a lifelong condition. While the intensity of its effects can vary among individuals, the core characteristics persist into adulthood. However, with appropriate interventions, strategies, and accommodations, many individuals with dyslexia can make significant progress in their reading and writing abilities and lead successful lives. It's important to note that dyslexia is not related to intelligence. Many individuals with dyslexia have average or above average intelligence. The condition is neurobiological in nature, with differences in brain structure and function that affect the processing of written language. Early identification and intervention are crucial to help individuals with dyslexia develop effective reading and writing strategies, build self-esteem, and succeed in their educational and professional endeavors. Educational strategies tailored to the needs of dyslexic learners can make a significant difference in their academic progress and overall quality of life. Myths and
misconceptions about dyslexia have persisted for many years, contributing to misunderstandings and stigma. It's essential to debunk these myths to promote a better understanding of the condition and support individuals with dyslexia effectively. Here's a detailed account of common myths and misconceptions associated with dyslexia. Dyslexia is a visual problem. Myth. Dyslexia is often misconstrued as a vision problem where individuals see letters or words backward or in a distorted manner. Fact. Dyslexia is a neurobiological condition related to language and reading. It is not caused by visual issues, and individuals with dyslexia see letters and words the same way as others. Dyslexia is a sign of low intelligence. Myth. It is wrongly believed that individuals with dyslexia have lower intelligence or are not as capable as their peers. Fact. Dyslexia has no correlation with intelligence. Many dyslexic individuals have average or above average intelligence. The condition primarily affects reading and language processing, not overall cognitive abilities. Dyslexia can be outgrown. Myth. Some people believe that dyslexia is a phase that children will naturally outgrow with time. Fact. Dyslexia is a lifelong condition. While individuals can learn to cope with their challenges and develop strategies, the core characteristics persist into adulthood. Dyslexia only affects reading. Myth. Dyslexia is often simplified as a reading disorder and not recognized as affecting other aspects of language and learning. Fact. Dyslexia can impact various language skills, including spelling, writing, comprehension, and vocabulary development. It can also affect math and organization skills. Dyslexia is rare. Myth. Some people believe that dyslexia is a rare condition that doesn't affect many individuals. Fact. Dyslexia is one of the most common learning disabilities. Studies suggest that approximately 15 to 20% of the population may have some degree of dyslexia. Dyslexia is the result of poor teaching. Myth. It is erroneously thought that dyslexia occurs due to inadequate or ineffective teaching methods. Fact. Dyslexia is a neurological condition that is not caused by teaching. While effective teaching methods can help dyslexic individuals, the condition itself is not the result of poor instruction. Dyslexia affects boys only. Myth. There is a misconception that dyslexia predominantly affects boys and is rare in girls. Fact. Dyslexia affects both boys and girls, but it may manifest differently, with girls often using compensatory strategies that can mask their difficulties, making diagnosis more challenging. Dyslexia can be cured. Myth. Some people believe that dyslexia can be cured with specific treatments or interventions. Fact. Dyslexia is not curable, but it can be effectively managed and supported. Early intervention and tailored strategies can significantly improve reading and writing skills. Dyslexia is just reversed letters. Myth. Dyslexia is sometimes thought to involve primarily reversing letters or seeing them backward. Fact. Reversing letters is just one possible symptom of dyslexia, and it is not the only characteristic of the condition. Dyslexia encompasses a range of reading and language challenges. Dyslexia is overdiagnosed. Myth. Some argue that dyslexia is overdiagnosed and that it's used as an excuse for poor academic performance. Fact. Dyslexia is a legitimate condition, and proper diagnosis is crucial to provide appropriate support. Overdiagnosis is less common than underdiagnosis. Debunking these myths and misconceptions is essential for creating a more inclusive and supportive environment for individuals with dyslexia. It encourages early identification, effective interventions, and positive attitudes toward dyslexic individuals, promoting their success in education and beyond. Prevalence of dyslexia in students. The prevalence of dyslexia in students can vary depending on how it's defined, diagnosed, and studied. The estimates for the prevalence of dyslexia often range, but it is generally considered to be a common learning disability. Here's a detailed look at the prevalence of dyslexia in students. Varying prevalence estimates. The prevalence of dyslexia varies across different studies and regions. Estimates typically range from 5% to 17% of the population, depending on the criteria used for diagnosis, assessment methods, and the population under consideration. Specific learning disability. Dyslexia is one of the most common specific learning disabilities, SLDs. SLDs are conditions that affect the acquisition and use of listening, speaking, reading, writing, or mathematical abilities. Dyslexia specifically impacts reading and language skills. Early identification. Early identification of dyslexia is essential for effective support. While exact prevalence rates among young children can be challenging to determine, research suggests that identifying and providing interventions for dyslexia at an early age can significantly improve outcomes. Gender differences. Dyslexia occurs in both genders, but studies have shown that it may be more commonly diagnosed in males. This may be because boys with dyslexia are often more behaviorally disruptive, while girls may be better at masking their difficulties through compensatory strategies. Comorbidity. Dyslexia often co-occurs with other learning or attention-related conditions, such as attention deficit/hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. The presence of comorbid conditions can make diagnosis and prevalence estimates more complex. Evolving definitions. The definition and understanding of dyslexia have evolved over time. Modern definitions recognize it as a neurobiological condition with specific characteristics related to phonological processing and reading difficulties. Assessment challenges. Accurately diagnosing dyslexia can be challenging. It often requires a comprehensive assessment by qualified professionals, including educational psychologists, speech-language pathologists, and reading specialists. The variability in assessment methods and criteria can influence prevalence estimates. Educational settings. Dyslexia can be identified and addressed in various educational settings, from general education classrooms to special education programs. The prevalence of diagnosed dyslexia can differ based on the level of educational support and intervention available to students. Cultural and linguistic factors. Dyslexia prevalence may vary among culturally and linguistically diverse populations. The impact of the language and script used for instruction can influence the expression and identification of dyslexia. Impact of early intervention. Early intervention programs and support for students with dyslexia have been shown to improve reading skills and can reduce the impact of the condition. The prevalence of diagnosed dyslexia may be influenced by the availability and effectiveness of early intervention programs. The prevalence of dyslexia in students can vary due to several factors, including the definition of dyslexia, assessment methods, cultural and linguistic factors, and the availability of early intervention and support. While exact prevalence rates can be challenging to determine, it is widely recognized as a common learning disability that affects a significant portion of the population, highlighting the importance of understanding and addressing dyslexia in educational settings. Conclusion of Module 1. In Module 1, We've laid the foundation by exploring the goals and objectives of this professional development session. We've emphasized the importance of raising awareness about dyslexia, understanding its characteristics, and equipping educators with the knowledge and skills needed to support dyslexic students effectively. As we move into Section 2, we will delve deeper into the definition of dyslexia and its key characteristics, providing you with a comprehensive understanding of this neurodevelopmental disorder. Join us as we uncover the intricacies of dyslexia in Section 2. Preview of Module 2. In Module 2, we will delve into the world of dyslexia, defining it in detail and exploring its key characteristics. We'll also examine the neurological basis of dyslexia and how it impacts reading and learning. By the end of this section, you'll have a solid grasp of what dyslexia is and how it manifests in students, setting the stage for our continued exploration of effective strategies and support mechanisms in the subsequent sections. Let's begin our journey into the heart of dyslexia in Section 2.